A dude has a mystery on his property. I think it's funny because the news station that covered this story said there's been a big rise in bread crime.
Bread crime.
Bread
Have
crime.
you noticed this anywhere, guys?
A
Bread
guy-
crime?
I've not.
No, me either.
A guy in Nevada had more than 100 pounds of sliced bread dumped on his property.
You know how much bread that is to weigh 100 pounds?
Oh, my God. So
And he has no idea where it came from.
I'm assuming it's no good anymore, and I'm just looking for a place to just throw it away, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I want to attract all of the critters to his place.
Let's figure out if we can see what happened here. Here's the story from KLAS TV.
Now to an unusual story that you'll only
Uh-oh. Sorry, my bad. Tried to make it bigger.
only see here. The owner of a Henderson business shocked to find a literal ton of packaged bread left on his property.
8 News Now reporter James Schaefer is on the crumb trail tonight looking at the apparent rise in bread-related crimes.
Stop doing that. Shut up.
Look at this.
This guy's pissed.
Many loaves. On Monday, workers at PBF Manufacturing, a casket supplier in Henderson, discovering this mound of discarded bread with no idea how it got there. It's all been dumped out of the delivery box, still in its plastic packaging, all Kroger brand, and there is seemingly no answer about who put it there and why.
I can't get rid of it. I don't know how to get rid of it. It's just too much.
Curtis
Garbage.
Dennis, manager at PBF, told us he called a non-emergency number to report the illegal disposal at his property and called his local Smiths.
And they just kind of chuckled under their breath. And it's like, oh my gosh, you know, why would that happen? They were thinking that I only talked about a little bit of bread, and I told them how much it was, and it was just. They just kind of laughed. Now I know I can't get a hold of anybody, and I don't know what to tell you. And that was what Smith
Such a weird call to make.
Now,
Yeah,
although
it
there
is.
was no
Somebody
body
explain all
found
this
in
bread.
pile of
Help!
bread, Dennis
Help!
says-
Help me! Someone!
Sir, what seems to be the trouble?
I know this is not an emergency.
Yes.
Well, I have an emergency.
What's your
bread,
emergency, sir?
Bread.
I'm sorry?
Bread. Bread everywhere. There's
Sir?
bread. Ah!
We're going to need a psych visit. We're going to need this guy's lost his mind.
They dumped a bunch of bread. A semi-load full.
It's for sure a semi-load full.
Yeah, that came off a truck. Kroger brand.
Let's get back to the
Just
story here.
Then when
okay.
he went to investigate, he formed a half-baked theory after he found a document containing a distribution route number and a name. Dennis filed a police report listing the name and number. Henderson police have not yet provided an update. We also looked up Flour Baking Company more than a mile away from the business, but they don't make Kroger brand bread.
yeah, no.
Also, the Henderson Kroger Distribution Center is not responsible for the contractors who deliver on bread routes that are sold to different companies.
Route 301, and that's the
Dennis
reason why
now
I'm
waits for Public Services to pick it up, but with the exposure to so much food to wildlife, figuring out the origin of the bread may be the yeast of his problem.
Oh, my
Reporting
gosh.
from Henderson, James Schaefer, 8 News Now.
I wish people could do a story without the puns.
No, it's now a
Can
requirement.
they do it?
No,
It's
but
now a
why?
requirement.
Is
You
it
need to
that?
do
Because no, they found at newsrooms
No.
across America. They love
No.
a good pun.
like
they
an
think America loves.
No, we don't.
An 80-year-old man is
Well,
dying laughing.
We're not watching the evening news. Lisa.
That's what I mean. Like
No
it's
way.
it's not. We're not, and we won't if
Right.
this continues.
But he actually was concerned that someone could have been killed and buried in all that bread. That's what he thought at first.
Stop
it was a
it.
crime. Yes, that
So
someone
he
killed
reported
someone.
when he called that non-emergency line.
Bread.
911. What's your emergency?
There's bread. I guarantee there's a dead man in it.
A dead man in the bread?
Yeah, why else would you dump a ton of bread on my property if you weren't hiding a dead body? It doesn't make any sense. We'll send somebody right away. Thank you.
He thought that someone had been killed and buried under all that bread, and that's why they did that. That was his leading
What
theory.
a crime that would be.
perfect
It's just
crime.
It's just a pissed off truck driver, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
obviously
Lazy?
someone
What, he
who
just
was
said,
like
right here.
wasn't gonna make their delivery.
Oh,
and-
that is the update. A
Ah.
distributor came forward and said they contracted a driver to handle that route for the first time, but he dumped it because he got mad and didn't want to go through the process of returning it.
Right. So he missed something and was like, I have to return with an empty truck. I'm just going to do that. They won't know any better.
The driver called into the news station anonymously and said they tell drivers to dump unsold bread off at churches and nonprofits, but he couldn't find anyone that wanted to take it. So he was told to just dump it anywhere.
He's just driving around with
Chris,
his bread.
I got a truckload of bread. Anybody want it? What kind is it? Just regular, all kinds of different regular breads. There's hot dog buns. There's regular breads. There's wheat bread. There's
what brand is it? What brand is it?
I forget, some kind of just
Kroger brand?
Just a Kroger brand bread. Yeah.
I don't want it. I don't want
Oh,
that.
come on.
Go find another place.
But it's to
Hippie.
feed people.
Go ahead, hippie. Get out of here.
All right.
Driving around all day with this truck of bread.
Oh, wow. What do you got?
I've got a lot of bread here that could help feed a lot of people. Are you interested? I got to get this done by like 5 o'clock today.
Oh, no. We can't
You don't want the
we
bread?
We couldn't possibly.
Look how much bread it is.
Free? I doubt
It's
it.
free. It's free.
I doubt it. There's always a catch.
You could just feed
My grandkids told me to look out for this kind of scam. Get out of here.
All right, I'm out.
Scammer.
Big
Yeah.
bread scam.
I wouldn't
Big
fall for it. I would be
scammer.
like, what? What?
Don't
I
want your bread.
Yeah. What's wrong with it?
So he finally gave up and just dumped it on this
Yes.
poor guy's property.
He threw it
man.
into their trash area.
But there was so much it wouldn't even fit in
Of
just a
course.
giant dumpster.
Yeah, no.
Semi-load of
It was
bread.
a semi-load, so. That would have just taken, unless he had a semi that could have like dumped it out like a dump truck.
Yeah, how
that
did
would
he
have
get it
taken all
out?
night.
He's like, that's the worst job ever.
Yeah.
He was like new on the job.
4 hours of tossing bread.
What have you been doing all day? Bread. Bread as long as you can think.
Here's the thing. He wasn't even paid to
He
do
wasn't
it.
paid?
Like, you got to find a place to dump it. That's on you.
Yeah. It's not even, yep.
Terrible job.
Yeah.
The worst.
That's the worst job.
They're basically like, you better figure out what to do with all this bread.
Yeah. Because you can't make any money with a truck full of bread. You want to make some money, you got to get that bread out of there and pick up the next thing.
Every morning you got to figure out where to take this bread, all right? Good luck. You just figure out where to take it, and if you can't figure out where it goes, you give it to a nonprofit.
And sometimes they don't want it.
And then what? Then you just dump it on a guy's lawn.
That's what we've done for years.
That's the bread game. You can either make it in this business or you don't.
It's not for everybody, pal.
It's not for the weak.
He didn't get paid.
You think I got arms like this, not tossing thousands of loaves of bread out every morning?
If you don't figure out what to do with this bread, you will not get paid.
Come on. What a crazy thing.
It's a horrible job.
Oh.
It's the worst. It's the worst thing I could ever think of.
But this must happen because they say there's a big rise in bread crime.
Yes.
Rise in bread crime.
I guess the nonprofits are just crawling in bread right now.
Yeah,
they're crawling in it.
Got so much of it.
Come on.
The guy had to quit, right? He can't. That's not his.
Oh, it's
can't
not for
do it.
him.
It's not
No,
for him.
no.
Well,
It's
it is
tough
a
life.
crime, and that guy would have been responsible for it since it happened on someone's property, but the bread is gone now, so it sounds like someone helped him out. So he's not going to be charged.
Oh, that's good.
Come on, we gotta go get this
Holiday.
guy's bread. You put it in the wrong spot. Oh, dummy. I was hoping the birds would eat it all.
Do you understand the size of a flock of birds to eat 10,000 loaves of bread?
I guess I didn't do the math on
You
that.
got to crunch numbers on that.
This job is hard.
That's it. I always do the math.
Every morning I gotta figure out where to take all this bread. I just
know.
can't do it.
I know. I told you.